All right. Yeah.
Yo. Welcome back to the Out the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-host James Luffy and Rory Luke, and we are remote this week. I am in our original studio location. Rory, Luffy, do y'all see sorry, I'm a little turnaround. Do y'all see the first original canvas that we had in the studio? Do y'all remember this? Do y'all remember what it was like to be recording in this room where I'm at right now? Like before we upgraded?
I do.
It looks nice. We need to bring that thing over here, that out the box thing.
Yeah. Yep. You were definitely right. And we might bring my dad over as well because we used to record at his house and then we kind of changed locations. We're gonna go kind of like the Colada show. We're gonna go undercover. We're not gonna tell anybody where we record now. It's up to you to figure it out. They have the undisclosed location. We'll have the Luffy lair because it is Luffy's house. But if you know where that's at, then either you're a good friend or
we're gonna have to find you.
Or we're gonna have to figure something out. But we are so happy to be back. We're so thankful to be back on the Out the Box podcast. It's Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is in one day as you're listening to this. We're recording on Tuesday night. LSU basketball. Let's go ahead and start off with basketball. It feels good to kind of shake things up with LSU basketball. LSU basketball last night in the PMAC, Monday night, kicked the crap out of Belmont, right? And that might not sound like that big of an accomplishment, but Belmont's a team that makes the tournament every year, right? You're always sitting there trying to figure out where you're going to place them in the bracket, depending on wherever they fall and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think, Rory, you sent a stat last night that Belmont scores 88 points a game or something crazy, right?
Yeah, they hadn't scored under 80 all year. Now, actually, their lowest scoring was 81. So yeah, they've scored 90 in 3 out of their 4 games before LSU, scored 80 once. And LSU held them to 53.
Yes. So obviously, the thing that I'm hearing the most about this LSU team, we're going to get to it all right, but is the fact that LSU basketball this year just looks different. Like a guy I work with took his son to the game. His son's like 10 years old. He took his son to the game, and he was like, wow, this is a team like we haven't seen at LSU in a long time. So we're going to get to that. Lots of power moves being made by the LSU basketball program. The women's team's doing fantastic as well. LSU took care of the ULM. What is it, Luffy? The Warhawks?
Warhawks.
The Warhawks, baby. 27-14. An absolute shellacking.
I don't know if
Terrible
I don't know if we call that a shellacking.
Not really by the Tigers. I love the word shellacking whenever you're talking about a beat down in football. But LSU got the job done. There was a few things that kind of jumped off the page. I feel like the LSU football news this week is kind of more off the field this week. Considering Kocho's departure and the Eli Rich transfer, we'll get to that as well. But before we get to all of that, got to give a huge shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. Shout out to the podcast Chop Chop Nola, TCHOUP, Chop Chop Nola. They're the New Orleans food podcast on bootcrewmedia.com. They just got their first official sponsor. Can y'all guess who it is?
Who is it?
It is New Orleans up and coming. I guess, what do you call it? A distillery? Who Dat Spirits. Who Dat Spirits. And Who Dat Spirits makes the finest filtered vodka for an unfiltered city and whiskey crafted with care for a carefree city. How about that? What kind of ad read is that? One from Chop Chop New Orleans. Make sure to check out bootcrewmedia.com and all the other content on there. This is a great sports time of year, and you will not want to miss it. Also, We just changed our handle on all social media at Boot Crew Media. No more underscores. How about that? What'd you think about an underscore, Rory?
I mean, it's much cleaner now. I went and changed our Instagram bio as well.
Did you?
Like was directed, like
Did
we were
you?
directed to.
Well, congratulations. I don't know why I say congratulations,
I
but
don't know. Yeah.
Also shout out to Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty. You know what? Instead of going like for a best analogy here, I'm going to go with an OG analogy, right? So, in the same way that I'm sitting in the OG, the original gangster out the box podcast studio, Blaine Loop is the original gangster in New Orleans real estate. Blaine wants you to know that the speeds these homes are selling right now, you're going to need a certified professional. You're going to need Blaine. Blaine wants you to know that he'll be your friend, your neighbor, and your agent. We said last week that he was unable to make it to a tailgate because he was working, and that is still a fact. Blaine is always working. Blaine wants you to know that you can call or text him at any time at 504-858-0031. That's 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. He's a night owl. He's a damn night owl, and I promise you, he wants to help you, whether it's to find a place to rent, whether it's to find tenants to rent your investment property, whether it's to buy a home, to sell a home. Blaine is there for all your real estate needs. One more time, 504-858-0031. All right, let's roll through this kind of
You
quickly.
forgot about equal opportunity.
And by the way, so I was getting to that. Sorry, there's a little lag on the video, Rory. But
Yeah.
Blaine wants you to know that Keller Williams is an equal opportunity housing partner. Each office independently owned and operated.
And
all right,
while we're talking about Blaine, I just want to talk about this first. Big game this weekend, Friday night, 6:00. Brother Martin versus Jesuit, state semifinals. Blaine Loop is second in high school choices. That's the only thing he's second in. Kid went to Jesuit, terrible choice.
Imagine if there was a real estate market ranking, right? Like, where would Brother Martin be on that?
Number one. They're number one in everything.
No, the wrong answer is that anything but Blaine Loop.
Catholic High plays St. Paul. We'll see Catholic High next week, December 4th, at Ullman Stadium. Brother Martin versus Jesuit. I'm just taking this out now. For all the Jesuit people that listen to this podcast, hit me up. I'm taking any and all bets. I'll give you. I mean, it was a close game the first time. Brother Martin's been rolling, undefeated on the field. No recruiting violations here, just academic violations. Sometimes being an athlete,
nonetheless.
Sometimes being an athlete, sports come first. And that's okay. That's okay. It's understandable. I'm debating on. I think an even spread would be 3. I'll give -3 for Brother Martin. I think they deserve to be the favorite after winning the first matchup. So I'm giving Brother Martin -3. Anybody who wants to take that line, you can hit me up.
All right, and
all those Jesuit kids.
Rory, I think it's safe to say, at the very least, if Catholic and Brother Martin end up playing each other, we will do some sort of tailgate get together before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be there for sure, 100%.
Okay, yeah, and if Catholic's there, I'm there. So
if I do, well, that's true. I mean, John, you have a dog in the fight either way, Jesuit or Brother Martin wins.
Trust me, we're not the dogs. Anyway,
but yeah, I do have a final that day. But after the final, I will be at the game, 100%. December 4th. After Brother Martin beats Jesuit by like 30.
All right, let's talk about LSU football real quick. There are just a few notes from this game. Obviously, ULM is never on LSU's radar as a particularly exciting game and whatnot. I think the most notable things come from I guess I guess what happened after the game, right? So Eli Rick's transfer, you had the news of the fake punt and whatnot and all that. But when you get really down to it, the whole team's checked out, right? Other than guys that are trying to make a name for themselves next year, other than guys that are trying to maybe further their draft stock, other than it's all moving on, right, Lovey?
Yeah, I mean the offense just it sucks. We don't really do anything offensively that makes us different or unique, and it's honestly hard. It's a hard football team to watch, very hard football team to watch play. At least the defense is out there playing a little bit. As far as the Rick stuff goes, that's old news. Whenever someone who's rumored to transfer for an entire year, he wants attention. He's an attention wanter. He's from California. He hasn't even played that many games for LSU, and he just wants somebody else to court him right now. And he checked out early in the season to have surgery, and at that point I knew he was not coming back.
Yeah,
like that's just part of losing your coach, though, and part of being a bad program. That's why you have to turn it around so quickly, or you end up like Texas.
Yeah, I think like what you said. I mean, as soon as he opted out, or I mean, got hurt for the rest of the year, I think we all kind of knew that was coming. But I think the one big takeaway from this game is like we got to see what's coming next year with the receiving core. It's kind of like analogy to Ole Miss last year in 2020 when Butte kind of really came onto the scene. I kind of get the same vibe with Malik Neighbors. Brian Thomas Jr. has been doing it all year, but Malik Neighbors for sure was a guy that everybody talked about in the offseason, talking about this guy's legit. And we finally got to see like some action out of Malik Neighbors, which was awesome. I mean, Jack Besh again doing what he does well. So I think that's where, the positives come out of this game is those receivers. And then you also get back Butte next year with hopefully a better offense, and you might actually have, the makings of something.
It's hard to like project the team next year, because of all the transfers, because of whoever the coach brings in is going to also bring in new players.
Yeah.
It's very hard to project. I mean, even like in the summer, it's hard to project.
Yeah.
You're starting lineup halfway through the season.
I mean, I think we were all way off on our projections this year. I mean, definitely me, John.
If you go back to the beginning of the year, like before the year started,
Rory, I was a little bit off.
Yeah.
Before the year started, and then you take, this is what I thought the defensive starters would be, and then who the defensive starters against A&M, or who were they last week, or who were they 2 weeks ago against Alabama?
I mean,
you'd only have maybe two right.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to project next year, but I mean, obviously the three young guys who played a lot, we haven't even seen. Deion Smith's been hurt, and he was great when he played.
Yeah.
And then Chris Hilton too.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of talent there. I'm sure maybe one of them will leave this offseason, but hopefully we can keep them all. I don't know. Y'all want to move on to basketball, or y'all want to talk A&M?
I was talking about. Okay, you go, John.
Well, all I was gonna say is like there are always positive. Like you cannot have an LSU football season in which there is not at least some positive, right? So some players like say Malik Neighbors or say let's go ahead and just say Damone Clark. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I was going to say
instead of giving attention to players like Eli Ricks, which is exactly what he's getting online. We should. I mean, Damone Clark and Austin Deculus and Ed Ingram, some of those guys that are, and Neil Farrell, those guys that are playing in their last year and they're giving it their all every game out there for LSU. Those are really the guys that deserve attention and praise, because we do have some football players on this team that have really just held the team together, so we're not like getting blown out every game.
And I mean, there are also guys that are fifth year or fourth year, they're seniors who have put their bodies on the line for this program for a long time and stuck with it through the thick and thin. And I mean, you can't say enough about those guys for sure.
I'll tell you what, if I'm an NFL scout, right, and maybe I'm in the minority with this, maybe I'm looking for the biggest, baddest lineman and all that. But if I'm looking at, I don't know, just take Austin Deculus, for example, right? The dude is stuck with the team. The dude was on literally an offensive line that won the Joe Moore Award, right? You okay, Rory?
Yeah, I'm good.
You need some help?
No, I'm all right.
All right. Well, I'm just saying things like that. Like the character of these guys, like you see it most specifically in Damone Clark. Damone Clark has the most confidence ever. This was said on Moscona earlier, but Damone Clark is a finalist for the Butkus Award.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year, I would have laughed at you.
And to be honest with you, last year, granted, we don't normally just crap on players and whatnot, but we were so hyped up last year for him to be number 18, right? And to have the year that he had last year, but it starts to really be seen that Bo Pelini's scheme last year was just the worst possible thing for Damone Clark. Now, you get a guy like Durante Jones that comes in and makes the adjustments and puts him in the right position to succeed, even though this team is not very good. Like, to be a finalist for the Butkus Award in the same company as a guy who is literally playing for the Super Bowl champions last year. Like, that's incredible, especially on this bad of a team, right? I mean, you can't say more about the comeback story of Damone Clark, the way he was able to comb through that adversity and come back and actually have this season on as bad of a team as this is.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to have more opportunity on a bad team. There's more room for opportunity for tackles, especially early on when everybody wasn't really, involved in the defense. But we knew Damone Clark had this talent. We saw it in 19, and like he looks like a freak out there. Like he's one of the best athletes on the team. Everyone knew that. It was just a matter of like understanding the defense and then putting it together and playing aggressive instead of like on his back foot. And
yeah,
he's been doing that, and like he's going to get drafted just because he's extremely athletic, very high, and he's going to look extremely good at the combine too. So
yeah, he will. And I mean, another guy we can talk about, I mean, just a little bit, Micah Bakersfield as well, playing a very good linebacker.
And Blake Baker, who we've given credit to the last couple of weeks, has done a great job with him.
He has. And I mean, to get to basketball, John, you mentioned that the football team is pretty. We're shifting. James, or it was one of y'all mentioned the football team was like tough to watch, but the basketball team is like amazing to watch. I could watch a basketball team all day. I want to tune in when they're up by 30. Those dudes do not stop. They play some of the best defense I have seen in college basketball. I mean, they are all over the floor, hustling, turning defense into offense like no other team I've seen, especially at LSU. Just playing for each other, and like doesn't matter who's having a good day on the offensive side, they're going to get stuff done because defense in college basketball, you're going to play at a lot of tough places, and defense travels, and turnovers or defense that you can turn into offense is easy offense, and that travels as well.
Efficient offense, yeah, it's extremely efficient offense.
Obviously, LSU basketball seems like a good team to bet on this coming basketball season. Also, want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors over at Draftkings. We're still in football season, so we still got the football season ad read. Football fans, who's ready to score some free bets? Now you can when you bet on any NFL game this week with the Draftkings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers who bet just $1 on either team to score can win $100 in free bets. When the team scores, you score. If Sportsbook isn't available in your states yet, please don't worry. DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contest. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code OTB. Bet $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. $100 for $1. If they score, you score. With promo code OTB this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com LSU.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
LSU 6-0 against the spread this year.
Yeah.
Undefeated against the spread. And Belmont was a good team, like you said. They win 20 games every year. They had all their guys coming back from last year. But I'm more interested to see us get into SEC play and play some more physical teams.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of bullying teams on the defensive end right now. And it's turning into efficient offense, like you said. And that is something that it's going to be harder to translate to SEC play because of like the size and the athletes that we're going to see. But I mean, this is a great start.
Yeah.
It's a great start. You can't really ask for a better start. You need to win these games. Belmont, Liberty, those are games that matter at the end of the year. And if you can just carry this momentum in, you need a confident team. But I'm not worried, but like it's going to be tougher when we get into SEC play, and the athletes are better just because we won't be able to like physically dominate these teams like we've been doing.
Yeah. And
wait, Rory, before you go, I just want to ask this. Like, a lot of people right now are saying that this LSU team just looks incredibly different from any LSU teams past, especially under Will Wade, right? Like, obviously the talent level is going to go up, but what are you guys' thoughts on what you've seen so far without putting too much of an emphasis on how the team has played thus far?
So, I mean, like right off the top of my head, I think about, previous LSU teams, and when you're playing like the mid-majors, they would play well, get a big lead, and then slowly allow an inferior team to come back. And that is just not happening at all this year. I mean, Liberty, they were down a little bit in the first half and then stormed back in the second half and never looked back. Belmont, they were up 20 midway through the first, and I don't think they'd ever got within 10 throughout the rest of the game. I mean, they just kept their foot on the neck of the opponent, and that's just something that you haven't seen, that killer mentality you have not seen out of an LSU team, and we're seeing that now, and that's easy to do when you're playing hard defense. I mean,
they said we feed off defense after the game. The press conference, they were like, we feed off defense. His team feeds off defense, and Will Wade said it whenever he was like, no one knows who these guys are. He's like, they're all good, but nobody knows who they are. It's just a different team. He's been able to adapt to a different style of team that he has. We've had superstars, really. NBA guys every year, multiple NBA guys on the team. I mean, Cam Thomas was getting this assist from Kevin Durant last night, making threes. I mean, that doesn't get any, like, that's the top of basketball right there. But like, how many of these guys want to come in and gel and really play hard defense? And this team is different. Like Will Wade said, you're going to know who they are now, but like, there's not one single like superstar, I don't think, really.
Yeah. And I think you also see it. I mean, they're up 30 with 10 minutes left in the second half, and guys are diving for the ball. They're blocking people. They're going for steals. I mean, we're averaging 13 steals and 7 blocks a game.
Yeah, 7 blocks is a lot.
I mean, that is insane. And I know,
it's like Tyrus Thomas days.
It's like it's a mid-major team, and I understand that, but like these are teams that win in the tournament and get to the tournament. I mean, just to be blowing out teams and the way that they're blowing out teams, it's really not, hey, this guy or these two guys are just making all the shots. I mean, Darius Days didn't even score 10 last night. And he's your best player, but he's making plays all over the court. Tari Eason's making plays.
He's been hustling.
I mean, he's a menace on the court. Gaines is a menace as well. I mean,
so quick.
Gaines, I love Eric Gaines. I mean, and we talked about him last year as well. He just needed to put it together, and he's put it together so well. He plays so hard whenever he gets on the court. It's like awesome to watch. Like, and just this whole LSU team in general, just playing hard, that it makes it so easy to watch, so easy to cheer for.
A couple things about Will Wade. He's so confident. Like he's giving you everything in that press conference. He's super happy. He was pretty happy after the game. And he's also telling you what he did wrong. And like, he just adjusts on the fly, and he's still so young as a head basketball coach. I mean, these coaches coach for 30 plus years at places. And he said about, who was it? That he's like, I wasn't playing enough minutes last year. He was like, I wasn't playing them in spurts. It was
Was it Wilkinson? Was it Milani Wilkinson?
It was no, it was Gaines. It was Gaines. He was like, I was only playing him in 3 and 4 minute spurts last year, but like now I'm letting him play and getting his rhythm out there. He's just his willingness to adapt and change. And I mean, he's getting people excited about the program at the same time. Shout out, student section's been packed.
It has been
every
packed.
game. It's been packed. They've been there early. They've been loud. They've been standing up. And
I mean, that's only going to get better. Especially like it's just so like
early.
And it was a Monday night game. Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to go. I mean, I still get student tickets. I can't wait to go to basketball games once finals are over. I mean, it's just the easiest team to cheer for. I mean, when guys are putting their bodies on the line and making plays, nothing gets like a place rocking like a steal leading to a dunk or a block, a turnover leading to a dunk. I mean, that the PMAC is going to be rocking come SEC play, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I think you just summed that up perfectly, Rory. It's like, and to me, like a guy like Darius Days in a one and done college environment is so crucial, right? The guy has been around the program for years now. He understands exactly what you need to do. He is key to doing kicking it out to the perimeter. He is key to drilling a three when you need him to, getting rebounds. The guy does it all. He understands that you have to be a team player. And I think, honestly, I forget which one of you said it, but he's a pretty much like identical comparison to the way Draymond Green plays. Maybe shoots a little bit more, passes a little bit less, but like to have that in college basketball is almost unheard of, especially with a coach like Will Wade.
Yeah, and so we'll get the first taste of like major conference play this weekend. We play Penn State on Friday, and then if we beat Penn State, we'll play the winner of Wake Forest and hold on, give me a second. It was some bad team, I know that, but I think Wake Forest was the one that was going to win.
And you want to win that first game in those tournaments so you can play like the better teams and try to like win the little mini tournament.
Yeah, Wake Forest or Oregon State, and Wake Forest is the better team. So hopefully it would be on Saturday. So hopefully we get to play Wake Forest on Saturday and see against some like actual Power 5 competition before we head into December.
So let's kind of clean up the LSU basketball, the all the LSU talk, and who other than to help us clean up than our very good friends over at Workbox LLC. Lovey, do you know them?
Yes, you got to call Martine at Workbox. I'm always with Martine on the weekends, and he's still working. If you need a portable office, if you need a storage container, if you need portable restroom rentals, the nice ones, the luxury ones, if you need porta potties, the cleanest in the state. If you need a roll-off dumpster, you have got to call Martine at Workbox at 225-343-4886. 225-343-4886. Call Martine at Workbox if you need a storage container, portable office, portable restroom rental, or roll-off dumpster. They're the best in the business. They'll get it to you fast.
Also, just real quick, the first 2 games in January, Kentucky at home, Tennessee at home.
Yeah.
It's going to be rocking.
Yeah.
Dude, and I did hear today that Dickie V is out back
Boo.
recovered from his cancer treatment.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Happy that he's alive, but boo.
And he is calling basketball games again. So we can't wait to see Dickie V.
I hope he comes to LSU. Oh, that would be great. I hope he
will
comes to
be.
LSU.
He will be. He loves coming to LSU. He doesn't really like Will Wade that much, but he loves coming to LSU. All right. So the LSU football program, have y'all ever seen a coaching search that has it hasn't dragged on because it was supposed to be this long, right? Have y'all ever seen a coaching search with this many different theories with this high level of candidates?
I think this is just like kind of part of it here at LSU. And I mean, every time we have,
right? Because generally you don't say, all right, we're going to let the coach out the rest of the year. Generally, if there's an interim, you say, okay, well, we can announce this coach, but the coaches LSU is going after are high-profile coaches.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the more the issue is the other coaches that are leaving their schools don't want to announce it right now.
Yeah.
So if it's a done deal, they're trying to at least wait to the last regular season game, and that's why a lot of people think this thing will be over Sunday. I hope it is. We've got to start recruiting. Can't fall behind there. So hopefully we have our guy by Sunday, whether it's Lincoln, Riley, Dave Aranda, Billy Napier, whoever it might be. But there's more big jobs in the market now. I mean, Florida's open and USC's obviously open. It's been open for a while. So that's two like pretty damn big jobs, and coaches are getting raised. I mean, freaking James Franklin got $90 million today, and his record, he has like a below 500 record in the division. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah. No.
Would you have paid them? Would you have paid him that extension?
No, not 10 years.
And you had Mel Tucker getting blown out by Ohio State.
Well, I don't know. Like he hasn't had like that many years.
He hasn't.
He's really only had one recruiting class. It's hard to be.
All right. So to pay a coach $95 million or whatever it is, I mean,
it's a lot of money.
That's a huge leap of faith. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you can't be like, oh, you got blown out by Ohio State. The people who are doing that online just haven't watched college football very much. Like that's not. I mean, you pay him the $95 million because you think he's your guy, and you don't want him to go to LSU.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're not paying him the $95 million because he needs to be at Ohio State that week.
So the $95 million number kind of strikes out to me because when Nick Saban came to LSU, he came from Michigan State, right? Obviously, this isn't the same deal. But what I'm saying is that they expect him to grow as a coach and to build the program over the next 8-10 years, whatever. It's different from the last 20 years of college football where you bring in a coach who's an up-and-coming guy to build the program from there. So it is a little weird how this is shaken out, especially with Mel Tucker and James Franklin. But if you look back at LSU, it's like, where does LSU go from here? Because obviously I think the big wrench in the whole thing is the Florida job opening up, right? Obviously Lane's been out of the picture for it seems like a while now. I don't know what it was. It had to have been the off-field antics, whatnot. But I mean, there are theories out there that are saying that if LSU tries to go for the big swing hire and doesn't get it, and they ignore Napier, then he's going to go to Florida. I mean, how realistic is a scenario like that to happen?
I mean, I don't think. I think if Napier was a legit option,
he would have been. Yeah, he would have already been hired. I think
he would either have already been hired,
hold on.
Or wait, he would have.
It's ULL. It's ULL. I mean, he's gonna have. If he wants the job, he would have had to. Not leave. Right. He would have coached the last regular season game, but he wouldn't have coached the bowl game. And whoever we hired isn't going to coach the bowl. Whoever we hire on Sunday, if they do hire someone, if they're in a bowl game, they're not going to coach a bowl game.
No, I agree. Also, I think if Napier was in serious contention, he wouldn't be mulling over Florida offers, if that's even a thing.
Right, but from what I've heard, and you know, this is just me talking about from Sports Talk Radio conjecture, right? Like Napier,
same people who said Eli Ricks wasn't transferring 1,000 times on the radio. Okay,
all right. Anyway, Napier, you know, apparently Napier obviously anybody wants this LSU job, right? But it's got to be for the right money, and it's got to be if you're wanted there, right? My thing is that Scott Woodward goes for what Moscona calls the splash hire. So Moscona goes for the Jimbo Fishers, the Kim Mulkeys, the already proven, the Lincoln Rileys, the already proven coaches. Yeah. What I'm saying is that Napier on paper is not a just boom hire.
No.
So what they're saying is if Napier ends up going to Florida, ends up doing very well, and LSU misses on Lincoln Riley or even say Aranda, where the hell does LSU go from there?
I mean, then we just take our licks. I'm willing to take that. Like, the thing is, like, the jump from ULL to Florida is a huge jump or ULL to LSU is a huge jump that I'm just not willing to take on a coach. And if Napier does great at Florida, great. We'll see him once a year. Or, I mean, maybe not once Texas and Oklahoma join. But, like, it'd probably be good. Somebody could actually, like, touch Georgia in the SEC East. But, like, if he does well, he does well. I think that he's just not your guy at this moment, and you're willing to take that chance. Like, I also think that Woodward has his short list, and he's going to get the guys off that short list. You know, if it's not Lincoln, I think it's probably Aranda. And I mean, it's not like Aranda's vying for jobs maybe the USC job, but I think he probably come to LSU over USC. So I just think that Napier was on the bottom of the list of, like, you know, we're scraping for the extras if we needed to, but I just don't think we need to.
I still kind of think Lane Kiffin's in play for somebody and Miami is going to be
For
open
LSU,
or is
though?
open. Not for LSU, but I'm saying, like, he's a piece of that.
I think he's
that coaching search puzzle, because this is a good spot.
It is
for
a
him to
puzzle.
leave,
I
right?
think you're right, Luffy. There's pieces that fall into place. Yeah.
But this is a good spot for Lane Kiffin to leave, because if they don't have a quarterback next year and were to struggle during the year, his stock kind of goes down. There's a bunch of big, high-paying jobs, and the market's crazy right now. If Ole Miss is in his, like, forever place, right now seems like the time to go for him.
Yeah.
I just, with this many big jobs open,
I agree.
I think you're right. And
you're not going to, you know, the Florida LSU job's not going to open up again next year.
It's just crazy. I mean, honestly, is it out of the, like, this seems like honestly a very, I could see this happening tomorrow. I could see Lane Kiffin going to Florida, LSU taking, I don't know, Aranda, and Napier going God knows where.
To Ole Miss.
To Ole Miss. I mean, that'd be a huge step up for Napier. I mean, why in the earth would he continue to stay at ULL when you can grow the way he has and build a program? He's a young guy. Like we've said,
there's more schools too for Napier to be hired by,
to
possibly be hired by. But
sure.
He did turn down Auburn.
Lane coaches on Thanksgiving. He coaches Thursday in the Egg Bowl. So after that, something might happen with him.
Yeah,
because,
I agree.
If they win that game, Ole Miss is going to the Sugar Bowl. So I think that's a game that he would probably want to coach in, but I don't think that he would have the opportunity to if he was going to leave. But that game being Thursday, like, maybe could get the ball rolling for other things. And if you remember, whenever we hired Tom Herman, it was like Thanksgiving night, I think.
Yeah, it was.
News
we were
broke. Playing A&M.
Yeah,
we're watching the game,
broke.
and the news broke. So, like, that's really when the coaching hires, like, I mean, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, it'll probably be this weekend.
Yeah, I think Friday is going to be, like, kind of crazy. But who knows? Let's move on, because we could probably talk about this forever. Let's talk about Kocho's last game. It's going to be sad. He's going to be fired up. I mean, he already took his shirt off in preparation for the game. Love that. I saw a Jock's video of that clip, and I'm just thinking, if Coach O hadn't been fired yet, like they were just going to fire him after this game, how many more views would a clip of him, like, saying he was going to take his shirt off? Like, every media member would take that and run with it. But since he's already been fired, everybody's like, oh, it's just O.
Yeah.
Like, it's just O being right. O. But, like, if it was not the case, it would be like, that video would have 300,000 views. And
you know what's funny is that a couple years ago, if LSU was, during the Natty season, like, everybody would have loved it. That's what I have found the most intriguing about this whole Coach O thing is, like, even last night, and I was sitting here last night talking to an unnamed source that I live with, and he was like, Coach O, God, what happened to him? Like, and it's like, you can have both, right? You can have that he did what he did and he won the national championship. You can argue that he had his play in it and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is that nobody has been able to question his dedication to the state of Louisiana, to LSU, and I want to see Coach O go out on a high note this Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going. I think it's gonna be fun. I really hope we win. I think if we win, he might cry after. If we lose, probably not.
If we win, they're carrying him off the field.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also senior night.
After they sang, for what, like 19 guys or something? He said?
19 guys. Neil Farrell, Austin Deculus, Ed Ingram,
some national
Damone
champions
Clark.
on that list.
Yeah, like just like
Ridiculous.
a real pivotal class to the 2019 national championship. So it'll be a good night, and
I hope Kocho goes out on top. But like, there's definitely a reason why he's like he's been fired. And it sucks, like you said. I mean, he's Louisiana through and through, but it definitely was his time to go because we have not looked good on the football field the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to watch, and Kocho. I mean, it comes to a culmination of like Kocho's career, and it was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows for sure. But I mean, nobody's going to take back 2019 and what happened there. So
never.
Million.
No.
Rory, me and you. I know you remember. Well, do you remember?
I remember. I think John almost like broke his back that night. Some guy in front of us like threw John around like a rag doll at the game.
Dude, let's take a second. That guy sitting in front of us had to have been the biggest psychopath I've ever met in my life. And
also, I think after like Jamar Chase scored that first touchdown, I think my feet lifted off the ground for a second, like I was floating in midair.
Dude, we had people crying all by us. Like it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And honestly, the past couple of years, like especially when I'm bringing it up to Luffy, he's always been like, dude, flush 2019. Like it was a fantastic time, but like we're moving on from that. But like now seems more of a time than ever to kind of come back and look at it and be like, you know what? Back then, that was kind of a cool time. Like back then, whenever we were 2 years younger than we were now, like that was cool that we out of every single person we played. But I don't know. It's crazy. It is literally, and we're gonna kind of round out the segment and get on the house always wins. But it is crazy how fast success came on from Kocho. Everyone's kind of mentioned it, whatnot, but it is.
Hey, it's because it's mostly because of what you kind of are doing right now, reminiscing on the past.
Hey, I'll never forget
what you can do. But
me and our good buddy Brad, we're sitting in the student section. We got free Taco Bell tickets from Taco Bell.
From Taco Bell,
we were sitting there, and Rory said, "Hey, I got a ticket. I want to come sit by y'all for the game." And we said, "Yeah, I guess you can, whatever." So Rory came and sat by us, and I will never forget more than anything the psychopath in front of us that lifted me up with 2 hands, like full body weight. This is before I even gained weight, but he every time we scored, he would just pick me up and like throw me in the air. It was insane.
Saints done chained.
Loop that, Rory.
Saints done chained. Also, but
you're done chaining them or no?
But Saints might win this week because Sean Payton does this stuff sometimes where he's just like, I'm just going to win.
It's Thursday night.
I know.
Thanksgiving game.
He likes the Thanksgiving game where he just like.
And anybody can win a Thursday night football game.
Pulls it off. Bills have looked bad last week.
Very bad.
That makes me feel like they're in for a bounce back game.
But that's 2 weeks in a row for the Bills. They lost the Jacksonville Jaguars the week before.
I'm done chaining the Saints. I think they're done.
Official done chain placement from Rory.
I hope they're done chained because I think it's time to pack up the bags.
Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, John?
Whoa. Aaron Rodgers. What are you thinking?
I think the more realistic is Russell Wilson. I don't think Aaron Rodgers goes to the Saints.
And Aaron Rodgers is 5 years older, just for I looked that up earlier.
Russell Wilson ain't leaving though.
Yeah, Russell. I mean, if the Saints are done chained, the Seahawks are triple done chained.
Put up the hard guy mentality and all that, and he got shut down immediately. I think.
Also,
for the rest of his career, I think Aaron Rodgers is looking to get out. I would love for Aaron Rodgers to come to
See,
the Saints.
Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers went back on the Packers next year because
I wouldn't
Aaron
either. I would
Rodgers
not be surprised by that at all.
is on a FU tour right now, and the Packers are playing well. So, but Russell Wilson come to the Saints, best offensive line he's probably ever had, best running back he's also ever had, best probably coach as well. I mean, Pete Carroll's a good coach. I mean, solid defense. I think all the pieces are there. You draft a few receivers, you get some playmakers back, and the Saints is a Super Bowl team with Russell Wilson. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, the Saints win this week. They have a mini bye. If they win against the Bills on Thursday night, you get the mini bye, and you have a chance to get healthy on the offensive line and as a team together, and you could win again the next week, and you're kind of right back in it. But I don't know if they will be. Like they've just been too banged up since they've beaten the Buccaneers, and that's really like kind of the end of story. People are like Sean Payton this, Sean Payton that. It's like he can't. I mean, he doesn't really have much to work with. Honestly, he has not without AK and without all the O line. I mean, it's been tough for him, and that's the NFL, and that's why you need an elite quarterback because that's what can like carry you through those down periods. And if Russell Wilson, I kind of agree with you, John. I don't know if he has like the balls to leave. Like the city, I mean, it's weird. I mean,
he's like stuck there in my mind. Like I don't know. I mean, I just imagine him.
I mean,
like,
someone wanted out. He wanted out last year, right? Or someone wanted out. Russell Wilson.
There were stories.
He acted like it, but he was never going to force it, right?
No.
At the same time, Russell Wilson is not that type of guy.
He was never going to force it. But what if Pete Carroll retires? He kind of like can walk out.
I think it's time. I think
Pete Carroll's
getting up there
in football. He's a lifer in football. He's going to coach till the day he dies.
He might. I don't know. He's getting up there in age. He's won a national championship and a Super Bowl.
If it's not Russell Wilson, I'm on the Desmond Ridder train. Choo choo. Desmond Ridder train. I'm all for drafting a quarterback. So if it's I'm done chaining the Saints and hope that we tank and don't get above 5 wins, lose the rest of the season. Let's get a top 15 pick, top 10 pick, take a shot on a quarterback and let's pick this baby up.
And shout out Torrey Carter.
I mean, shout out Torrey Carter.
Shout out Torrey.
Also, I mean, look at the Patriots. The Patriots are the leaders in the AFC East with a rookie quarterback. That's what we should just be the Patriots. Be bad for 1 year, and then we do it, and then we are back.
He knew what he was doing. I heard. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I did walk into a room at work today, and I said, "Yeah, y'all heard Belichick's in the conversation," and they were like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" And I said,
"Well, I never want to hear anything from people you work with again after that."
Nah, I mean, it was too easy. It was too easy. They were talking about like Napier. They were talking about Napier and Aranda, and I said, "Yeah, I heard Belichick's kind of in the mix," and they're like, "What?" So, anyway, all right.
Let's get to the House Always Win segment, sponsored by the House Bar in Tigerland. House Bar in Tigerland. It's your home deals Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go see them on game day, after the Texas A&M game, before the Texas A&M game. They'll be open. The house is home. Christmas parties are this time of the year. Maybe get you an ugly sweater, hop into the House Bar in Tigerland. Can't beat it. You can follow them on Instagram at House Bar in Tigerland and on Twitter at Tigerland House. Last week, ULL beat and Mr. Napier, future Gator head coach, beat the brakes off Liberty. Looked like LSU out there beating the brakes off Liberty. Easy cover. Back again with college football. And in the Egg Bowl. I'm taking the Egg Bowl. We got a lot of Mississippi here.
The what bowl?
The Egg Bowl.
The Egg Bowl.
The Egg. Give me Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss plus 1.5. I just don't. I mean, I don't think. I just can't, like, the SEC this year has been just like a conundrum. There's just like everybody's beating everybody except for LSU. But the one team we did beat is Mississippi State. The one team we did beat is Mississippi State, so give me Ole Miss.
All right, y'all want to hear something? Cool stat from that game. Weird stat. Something you might not expect. Will Rogers, Mississippi State quarterback, 4,113 yards, 34 touchdowns, 76 completion percentage. Matt Corral, 3,100 yards, 1,000 less yards, 19 TDs, half the amount of TDs, and a 67.5 completion percentage.
I mean, you can't put that in there.
I know. I just saw that today, and I was like, it's just a perfect thing to trigger whatever fan base you want to trigger. Or if you want to trigger Ole Miss, you can even get State back with that a little bit.
Yeah,
it was just a little fun thing that I saw last week. I had Joseph Burrow smashing the Raiders, and he did. And this week, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Eagles -3. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not 100% sure of the board, but it's in New York, but the Eagles are kind of on a roll here. They need to win this game still. Like, it's kind of one of those must-win games where it's like they're on a roll. The Giants, the Giants look bad. Yeah, they're not great. It's even though it's in New York, the Eagles are on a little bit of a roll. I think Sirianni is a solid coach, and they have a chance of making that weird seventh seed in the NFL playoff this year. I think they keep rolling in New York.
With the Cowboys kind of like faltering, they have a chance in the NFC East.
And a free teaser side this week. One teaser side I'll give you, which is an absolute lock.
He's going to say the Raiders.
Cannot lose. Nope, the Dallas Cowboys. They have to win. And like I said last week, the Raiders are falling apart.
Love that.
They're going to continue to fall apart. I've given you a free side of the teaser. You can pair it with a couple other good games here. You can pair it with any of those, and if you can pick a winning side, then you will win because the Cowboys will beat the Raiders. It's just a must-win for them to kind of stay in control of that division with the football teams.
I think I might have the other side of your teaser.
Get that noise out of here. All right, so last week I picked.
I'll give it after John.
No, you already did it.
No, I'm talking about the other side of Luffy's teaser. You're gonna like this too. All right.
Am I?
Yeah. So go ahead.
So last week, the Packers. I like betting on the Packers. I think that's very well known at this point. I've done it for the past 2 years or so. So anyway, they lost, didn't cover, whatever. It was close at the end. I think the Cowboys kind of got embarrassed on Sunday night. I think they are going to come back strong. Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to be so loaded with turkey and stuffing and green bean casserole and everything that goes along with it. And it is going to be great to watch the Cowboys beat the Raiders by more than 7.5 points. Honestly, hate the 7.5, but we don't buy points on this podcast, right, Rory?
No, we don't buy points.
So gotta roll with it. That's all.
NFL gambling rule: never bet against the Vikings as an underdog and never bet on them as a favorite. John learned the hard way last week. And I think I said that on the podcast last week.
You did.
Okay.
But
it's just that they're a team you can't trust. Like,
it was a close game at the end. But you're right.
You just can't trust the Vikings. I'm nothing like your pick specifically, but like God knows what Kirk Cousins is gonna like come out with that week.
All right, I got the other side.
Jets is the best. Shout out Jets. He's the best receiver in the NFL.
He is the best receiver in the NFL.
And it's not. No one can even come argue that because it's not close.
I got the other side of your teaser. 6.5 point teaser, right? So you get Cowboys -1, and then we're taking Rams Packers over 41. I mean,
wait, what? With the teaser,
the other side of his teaser. So we're taking Dallas -1, Rams Packers over 41.
We're doing an out the box teaser each week.
The things that Kupp and Stafford do should be illegal. Like, I don't understand how, like, every Sunday the rest of the Rams can just go out there and watch them do what they do. It's kind of just disgusting.
So
they should be arrested.
I think the Packers defense is okay, but I do not think the Rams defense is. They have a couple big players, but they have not looked that great in a lot of weeks this year, and it's in Green Bay. Might want to check the weather for that one.
I don't know though. The cold weather
Yeah.
games, you think about the under, but the over can kind of hit.
Yeah.
Defenders slipping and sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
Also,
Depends if it's snowy.
Cup and Stafford, that nasty duo travels.
All
right. So repeat. So it's a 2-team teaser.
2-team a team and an 2-team over, 2-team teaser. Luffy's got Dallas -1. I'm taking Packers Rams.
So it's a 6.5 point teaser.
6.5 point teaser.
All right.
I'm over 41. Luffy's Dallas -1.
All right. This is the Out the Box teaser for the week. And thank you guys so much for listening. And you know what means a lot more this week than any other week is our thank you to our fans. I swear we're approaching 2 years of doing this podcast, and a lot of people wonder, they're like, how do y'all coordinate each week to be able to get together and record and to actually come up and watch all these games and all that? And the fact of the matter is because we love it. That is the only reason that we do this. We love getting together each week, talking sports. The comment. Are you okay, Rory?
Yeah. Never been better.
I could never think of a better time to say I'm thankful for you, but all that to say, it's like the comments, the interaction, the love for the Out of the Box show. I mean, I don't know how much more clearly I could say it, like, especially during Thanksgiving week. Like, you guys really do make our day, at least my day. And I know Rory and Luffy is the same for you, but we really do appreciate it. We're having so much fun doing this, and we're approaching the new year, so there's going to be a little bit more of a wrinkle, a little more power moves being made in 2022. So also, we're thankful for our huge sponsors, the House Bar in Tigerland, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty, and Workbox LLC. We're also thankful to the Boot Crew Media Network for giving us a platform to be able to do this, to be able to just talk about sports, and to, a lot of people don't realize, like, podcasting and whatnot, like, people are like, oh, they sit around, they got a podcast. Like, we go to work each day and we come home in the evenings and we just want to sit around and talk about sports, and to be able to do that so easily and so, I guess, effortlessly, I couldn't be more thankful. So with that, I think we want to go ahead and round out the show with the only way that seems fitting.
I think we're all thankful John just ended that rant.
Yeah, happy
Goodbye.
Thanksgiving. I hope you didn't have to listen to that entire rant.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Was it that bad?
We need to do everything? Anything else?
Was
it wasn't that bad.
I mean, what the hell?
I mean, it was pretty long, though.
Yeah, it was already long.
All right, I take back everything I just said.
All right. We'll see you later.
Who's that?
Bye.
John's editing. I'll post it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you later, John.
Roy, I'm going to post the video.
Okay, why?
So you get Thanksgiving off.
Dude.
Because I said a bad word in it.
Oh. I mean.
Unless you want to help a brother out.
I can cut it. You just got to tell me where it's at. Just text me where it's at. And I'll cut it out. All right. Goodbye.
All right, bye. In broadcast. No, hold on. I'm ending the broadcast. I got it. I just hit end.